Hello and welcome to another episode of Annie Casts. I'm Annie, aka Android, and I got this game off the Dota 2 Cast It subreddit. It was submitted by the Black Death, and it looks like it's going to be a really interesting game. So let's go ahead and get started. Draft is just finishing up, and on the Radiant side, we will have the first one loading in as Ember Spirit, the Black Death, Clown Baby going to be on the Treant, Bearded Bender on the Timbersaw, Impending Doom is going to be on the Necrophos, and the one little guy that hasn't loaded in yet is going to be on the Lion, and that'll be played by Ziggy What. On top, we're going to have Hallie on the Alchemist, Winterlord on the Centaur Warrunner, Cone Opener on the Legion Commander, Triathlete's going to be played by, Lena's going to be played by Triathlete, and Shaolin Shadow Boxing is going to be on the Enchantress. This looks like a really interesting lineup of heroes. I'm going to apologize in advance if I sound a little bit hoarse or winded. I just came off casting a best of 3 for a collegiate Dota championship, so long day, but this game looks super fun, so I'm really excited to get started. Looks like the Black Death is going to be trying to contest this top rune. He is rotating up in that area, but Hallie will be going in, trying to make sure he gets in. I think initial opening game, Alchemist has a little bit of a better shot. He doesn't have anything leveled yet, so he might be trying to figure out what's going to be the best start possible for him. Cone Opener does grab her Press the Attack regeneration. I think that's a really good shot, or a good choice for her. Bearded Bender is going to grab his Timber Chain, so he's going to be able to zoom across the map pretty fast, and that's going to be some really good rune control on this top rune. Down bottom, it looks like Radiant have this pretty much uncontested, as Winterlord is not in much of a position to go grab that. Dire are getting a little bit more pushy up top, as it looks like Legion Commander and Alchemist are going to go in, and the rune does go to Timbersaw as he's able to stand right on top of that rune spot. And yeah, the Flame Guard does a lot of damage, as that early burn damage is able to tick down a fair number of people. On bottom, it was, I believe, Necrophos that grabs the rune, so early start in favor of the Radiant right now. And it looks like Enchantress is already propping her sprites to help heal up the Centaur Warrunner, both at about half mana on the Dire side. So, not the best start for them in this bottom lane. I don't know how this lane's gonna work exactly. Looks like it's gonna be a support Enchantress, but that doesn't seem like the strongest pick, honestly. She's so squishy early game, and she really needs those items and those levels to start carrying and start surviving, I guess is the better word for it. Up top, Legion Commander's going to face off against this Timbersaw pretty evenly. I mean, just based on the hero damage, they're both pretty even heroes. Legion Commander with 3 branches, trying to make sure she has as many stats as possible in these early levels. Impending Doom is definitely going to be in this carry Necrophos position, as he is given almost uninterrupted free farm. He is having a little bit of trouble last hitting, though, only sitting at about 1 last hit, 4 denies. Ziggy What doing a good job of zoning out the Centaur and the Enchantress, but that's not too much of a difficult job when Centaur is just a big chunky melee hero that you can easily zone out with a ranged hit. Mid is pretty even. The Black Death is sitting pretty comfortably at 6 last hits to Lena's only 3 at this point, but it is only a minute and a half into the game, so anything can happen as the next couple of waves come through. But good farming so far from him. And up top, Bearded Bender is now getting a little bit pushed back by this Alchemist who wandered into lane. He is going to be going more of a jungle build, and this is actually a 6.83 game, so not quite the Alchemist meta that we're getting used to at this moment, where he can just go sit in the jungle for 40 minutes, farm up a good number of ags for his team, and walk away. Up top, there is going to be a double damage rune, unscouted out by any wards on either team. And it looks like Bearded Bender is going to be able to zone out the Legion Commander back to her own tower. Ember Spirit is actually going to pick up a bottle, so really nice timing on that bottle, as he does also start with some regen, a Stout Shield, and 3 branches, so he's definitely getting a lot out of this mid lane, and Triathlete hasn't been doing a lot to stop the free farm that Ember's getting. Yeah, she's casting a couple occasional Dragon Slaves, but not a whole lot of right-click coming out from one of the most ranged heroes in the game. Down bottom, I'm still waiting for Centaur to grab that point in return, which I think is going to be really valuable, as this Lion is going to continue to zone him out with his right clicks, so I think just having that return is going to do a little bit of screw you damage, if you will.
Turned up the heat?
Triathlete's going to be grabbing that double damage rune up top, but no bottle to put it in, so it is going to be popped immediately. The Black Death is going to be trying to initiate on this. I think he's a little nuts at this point, bottling up, chasing her all the way onto her jungle high ground and thinking better of it. Ziggy What does come in for support. but I think the Black Death just really good job zoning. That Lina is so scared at this point in the game. Impending Doom. Now it does have his Gloves of Haste, so it looks like he's going to be trying to build some early treads here. It'd be good timing if he continues his pattern of farm. He does have only 8 last hits, but he's been in lane the whole time, so he's definitely getting all the experience he needs to get those early levels and get that level 6 as fast as possible. Treant, definitely the support here, does grab a Stout Shield, which isn't something you usually see on a Treant, as he does have a good chunk of armor already and a good chunk of HP, so I'm going to question that for now. I think that gold could have been put more towards his early support items, but if he's having a good time in lane, then it's absolutely worth it. Looks like Ember is going to be initiating onto this Lina, doing a lot of damage with the Flame Guard. Is going to be able to bring her down. I think Diving Tower is very risky. Lina's stun is off the mark, and Black Death will back off at this point. He does have 2 bottle charges to get him back up. He is low on health and mana, and the Lina's not going to be doing much to stop him. Living Armor is coming out onto him. That's going to help him out a good amount. Haste Rune going to come out. He does drink up his bottle and take the Haste Runes. That's going to help him out for his future initiations. He seems to have a lot of balls going in on this Lina to her high ground at this early in the game, where a stun can be absolutely detrimental. Lina's struggling a little bit, only having a ward and some brown boots, with not much in the bank and only 500 gold to spare. Whereas the Black Death has no boots to speak of, but a completed bottle, Stout Shield, and 3 branches. Up top, Hallie's having a little bit of a tough time, comes out of the jungle with his completed Ring of Basilius, and he does have 2 points in Greevil's Greed. So perhaps the jungle was just a little bit tough for him, and now he wants lane farm, but I think he'd be better off getting those really yummy jungle creeps. He's going to run into Ziggy What on this top lane. He is channeling up a stun, gets stunned up himself, turned into a frog. Is he going to come out in time? It looks like Legion Commander's going to heal him up, but is it enough? Ziggy What getting very low, and Hallie's going to end up turning this and getting the first blood. It's going to be a double kill, and it is going to be a double kill on Hallie. Really good job making use of that time in lane. Looks like he should be grabbing himself some phase boots, and maybe he wants to take a trip home, but maybe not. He does have a little bit of lifesteal off of the Legion Commander's heal, if she'd like to give it to him. Triathlete is going to roam up, pop her ward pretty aggressively on this high ground right there. So game is starting to go a little bit in Dire's favor in terms of kills, but in terms of lanes, I'd still say you don't want to let an Ember get this farmed and have this good of a start.
No.
Bearded Bender is able to push up all the way under tower. Looks like he's trying to go on Legion Commander. Question mark on this tower's health bar, which does seem to be underneath it, so I don't know if that's just a little bug going on or what. Roshan's health bar is also underneath him, as well as all the other towers, so this might be something to reload the game, but it shouldn't be that bad. No, it's everyone's health bar that's now underneath them. That's a very strange bug. I've never seen that before. Hallie's about at half health. Does have the same items they had before, but 500 plus gold in the bank, which is going to help them out a lot. And Triathlete still with no big item progress. She does have brown boots, but using up all her regen. She has used up all her salves, and she's still low mana. So I'm not sure what this Lina is going to be thinking if she can keep spamming Dragon Slaves like that. She's now completely out of mana, so I don't know if that was the best choice. She does have 1,000 gold in the bank now. Maybe looking to pick up some Arcanes if she's going to be that mana spam heavy. But I don't know if that's the best choice in a mid Lina. Up top, it looks like Ziggy What's going to be trying to drain the mana on this Alchemist. Living Armor coming out for Bearded Bender, and he's just going to go back to farming. They're not going to try to make this a huge initiation. In terms of XP this far in the game, it is in the Dire's favor by only about 750, which is really, really minimal. Yeah, it's only 7 minutes in the game, but that's so close to 0 that one hero kill can turn it. Down bottom, has Centaur picked up points in return? He has picked up 1 value point in return, and he is maxing Hoof Stomp, it appears, which is a pretty solid build if he's going to be trying to start these initiations and just live as long as he can.
Missing bottom.
The Black Death is showing the power of his Flame Guard. It is now level 3, so he's definitely putting points into that. Lina does not have her 6. She does have her 6, she's just out of mana, so she couldn't have brought him down anyway. And it looks like on bottom that Return's doing a little bit of damage to Impending Doom, but not a whole lot, as he does have a fairly large HP pool. 701. Yeah, it's not enormous, but it's pretty nice for a support, or a softer carry than we're used to seeing. Up top, Ziggy What's going to be taking a lot of damage. Does take an Alch stun, and a duel comes out, so that's a big loss for the Radiant right there. Reaper's Scythe is going to get the kill on Legion Commander, but she does get that permanent duel damage, so I don't know how much of a success that is. And I think that's going to just push the XP a little bit further. Yeah, that Dire does now tip the 1,000 mark, and it does have 1,000 net XP difference. In terms of gold, it's close to even, 1,500 advantage in the Dire's favor. But then again, that's a couple minutes of farming. That's really not anything significant that the Radiant can't come back from. Looks like the Black Death is going to find himself an Invis rune and bottle it up. That's going to help with a lot of initiations. As there are 3 bottom right now, so I don't know what they're going to be trying to do off that. Lina is now sitting bottom.
Tower is under attack.
Enchantress's item progress is interesting. It looks like she's going for an
Missing
urn, as she does have a Gauntlet of Strength, but she really hasn't had much room to farm or get that. That's why a hard support Enchantress is just something that's very rare, and I don't think is completely viable, but I mean, we'll see how the game progresses later on.
Missing bottom.
Top lane enjoys keeping itself pushed, as they are almost always up at this Dire tower. Cone Opener does TP back into base. Hallie charging up a stun. Is it going to land on anyone? Legion arrows coming out, and it's going to be going on to Impending Doom. And it looks like another duel's coming out, but really great stun from Ziggybutt. And duel ends before Hallie gets a kill. So it's not going to be that permanent duel damage for Legion Commander, but then again, Radiant still lose their Necrophos. That's another death you don't want happening. It could be worse, but it could be a lot better. Hallie going to take some damage from this Ember Spirit. I don't know if this Ember Spirit should be going in right now. Yeah, his Flame Guard's up, but I don't think he can do enough damage to Hallie under tower, as that Alchemist is just really tanky. Lion is still lacking his level 6. I think that finger would have really helped out in the fights that he got into, but he's been doing a good job keeping himself, I mean, in lane, I guess. He has died twice, but I don't think it's detrimental. I don't think he's feeding by any means. Clown Baby getting some nice farm while Impending Doom was up at top. He does manage to grab himself a headdress, so it looks like he's going early mech and going to help out with his team, being that all-around healer. He's doing a good job keeping the living armor on his mid-heroes and the big carries, but I think that extra heal is going to help him out a lot. Ziggybutt now draining the mana on Hallie. Gonna drain it like almost all the way to 0. I think Hallie wanted that gold more than he wanted mana sustain, but now he must go back to base. I mean, there's nothing he can do. Can Opener sitting with 1,300 gold in the bank. I'm wondering what her first item's going to be, if she's going to go ahead and grab treads, or if she's going to save up for something bigger, like an armlet or a blink dagger. I don't know, this is completely up to her. I don't think there's a wrong way to do it now. She already has dual damage in her favor, and a kill. Bearded Bender grabs that soul ring for the early mana sustain. If I were him, I'd build it into a bloodstone, just because, you know, Timber's mana pool is so valuable, and a bloodstone with a bunch of charges is really good, and that's pretty much a standard build on Timbersaw. If I recall, I do not play a whole lot of Timber, but I do see it build a lot. Ziggybutt trying to initiate a little bit on this Legion Commander, draining the mana a little bit, but not doing a whole lot. It does look like Lina's going to be TPing out and going back mid, trying to defend against this pretty much free-farming Ember, who now has phase boots, as well as an extra 1,000 gold in the bank, and only 11 minutes in. So he's getting a little bit out of control with almost 40 last hits. Clown Baby with 600 gold in the bank, so it looks like he's going to be trying to finish up that mech pretty soon, and he's going to have a pretty easy time of it. Centaur with now 2 points of return, making it just a little bit more tricky to be right-clicked by Impending Doom. Ziggybutt really valuing that mana suck. He does have 2 points in it, over points in his stun, which I feel like Lion Stun is one of his most valuable skills, and one of the most valuable skills in the game, as it's reliable and point and click. But he has been using that mana suck a lot, and it's been really helping him out, keeping that Alchemist out of the fights. If Alchemist doesn't have enough mana for a stun, there's no need to be worried about a stun. Tree does have a Bracer in the bank, which is interesting. He is looking for that heavy armor build. He does already have a Stout Shield, so I'm not sure what he's so scared of, as he hasn't been brought low very frequently. Alright, Ember Spirit does end up picking up the Lina, but Hallie will get a kill on the Necrophos on the way back. So, I guess good trade for the Radiant, as they are able to pick off the mid, but they do lose the Necrophos, who hasn't had the easiest game of all games at this point. Black Death is going to pick himself up a Perseverance, so definitely going the Battle Fury Ember build, and that's so strong. He's able to do so much damage. That, combined with his Flame Guard, is just going to absolutely melt down people he's standing around. And it looks like initiation from the Dire, as Alchemist is going to jump in, as well as Shaolin Shadow Boxing. It looks like they make a roam from up top, but not able to get much out of it. Alchemist does pop his ult for not a whole lot of reason. Acid Spray and Greevil's Greed is going to get him some extra money, but I'm not sure what they got out of that and if they needed that rotation. It looks like up top there are going to be 4 Dire Heroes rotating in. Radiant is pushed up really far with no vision, and it looks like Shaolin Shadow Boxing can make a really strong initiation here if she tries. And I think that's exactly what she's going to do. Centaur ult coming out, but everyone running back. And Lena's stun is off the mark. Bearded Bender's trying to run away, and Chant is doing what she can, but everyone will get back to tower safely. There is kind of a gank wasted, I'd say, by the Dire. And in mid, the Black Death is going to be putting some Flaming Bolas on Hallie. The ult is back up from Alchemist, so he's going to be doing a lot of regen, but I think that the Black Death can still take him down with doing that much damage from his Flame Guard, so really good job by the Ember Spirit. That Flame Guard is so valuable. I really don't play enough Ember to know how to skill him, but that's definitely working out for the Radiant at this point, as he is sitting on half of their total kills for the entire team, as that tower is getting ticked to about half health. Impending Doom's going to come in. Winterlord is going to come in from a TP and try to see what he can do to defend. And he's going to get some nice last hits there, but I don't think that he completely forced the Radiant back, as the Black Death is just going to roam up and grab both runes. Pretty much uncontested at this point.
Where are you going?
Up top, Siggy goes down to the Lina, and the Lina's trying to hit the Bearded Bender as hard as he can, and it looks like the living armor will wear off just as the duel starts. He is stunned up, and it looks like the duel is going to end before he goes down, but he probably will still end up dying. Really great zip to those trees, but I think a Lina right click might still be able to do the job. And no, it looks like, wow, Timbersaw is going to live, and the Black Death comes in and grabs a kill for himself on the way out. And he's going to be able to get the Legion Commander too. He will. Great job getting a double kill out of that. Really, really powerful command from this Ember Spirit. He's been all over the map and doing exactly what he needs to do, which is just get kills, get farm, and get scary by mid to late game. And he does now have 2,000 gold in the bank. Man, I'm losing my voice. Too much talking in one day. Ziggy is now taking control of the bottom lane, as Hallie's giving him a run for his money, popping the acid spray right under tower, so he doesn't really feel safe standing there.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Dire's top tower is taking a lot of heat as Radiant are rotating 3 heroes up there. Bearded Bender in a lot of trouble as Tree ult comes in. He shoots out his little spinning chakra thing, but there's not much else he can do. I think it's time for Radiant to retreat now before anything goes too bad. Tree does invis himself up and go through the trees, so really good move on his part, having that value point in Nature's Skies. And all the Radiant are able to survive, so now kills are even. Hallie getting a little greedy, pushing past the tower to take those couple of last hits, but what a crazy amount of farm from this Alchemist. He does already have a Hyperstone and a Maelstrom, so it looks like he's going early Mjolnir. But that's just a ridiculous amount of farm to have this early in the game. Black Death is going to spot Hallie, but I don't know if you can initiate on him. Ult is up in 3 seconds, and it might not be the best chance, as there is no Radiant heroes to support him. So at this 16-minute mark, it looks like XP is going to be heavily in the Radiant's favor, mostly due to that Ember just getting absolutely astronomically big in the last couple of minutes. He does now have a completed Battle Fury, and he's hitting for a lot. He's hitting like a truck at this point. He's hitting for about 150 or so, and he's hitting people around him too with that Flame Guard at max level. In terms of gold, Radiant's sitting comfortably about 1,700, 1,600, so it's nothing that the Dire can't come back from, but I think the Radiant now have shown that they're able to work as a team. The rotations have been absolutely great, with Impending Doom TPing all over the map, and the Black Death just walking from top to bottom like it's no problem, and getting kills when he does too. He's now TPing back mid, trying to go on Hallie, who's at his tower. They do pop the Fortify. Hallie popping the stun, and I don't know if they'll be able to dodge that, as Alchemist does get off the stun, but he's taking some serious damage by the Ember Spirit. Ember Spirit now has living armor on him. He's going deep. I don't think it's best for Black Death to continue, and he will back out. Although Impending Doom with a haste rune is going to run right into him, going past him as it will, and some right clicks are going to do the work. Reaper Scythe coming out, but you won't even need it. Just the right clicks are going to take care of him. Ziggy now pinging out to defend this top tower. And it is going to be Tree and Lion, the 2 support duos left to defend. Tree still has his bracers and his wards on the courier, so I don't know why he hasn't picked those up yet. Looks like it is coming to him now, but those have been on there for 7-8 minutes so far. Ziggy sitting on only Tranquil Boots and about 800 gold, so I'm not quite sure what his first item's going to be. I don't know, I would have said Mana Boots are good for him, as his teammates do need a lot of mana sustain, although he does have his Mana Suck leveled to level 3. So maybe not for him, but it's a really good support item.
Dire's top tower has been
Legion Commander's going to grab the deny up top. Really good move by her. She does now have her blink and looks like she's going into treads as she does have that belt and a boot, her boots of speed. Enchantress is going to be grabbing her mana boots for the Dire team, so that's going to help them out a lot with their mana sustain. And it looks like Radiant are going to walk right into there. Tree's going to pop an Overgrowth, locking them all in place. Ziggy Wet popping his ult, and he's going to pick off the Centaur. And Legion Commander is going to book it away as fast as she can. She just pop her blink and her arrows to get her that extra movement speed. So Radiant are just kind of controlling this game. It looks like they're going to take down this bottom tower if Hallie's not going to be able to stop them. He is charging up a stun right now, and it looks like Bearded Bender's going to zip away, not quite far enough to be out of the range of the stun. Black Death is going to come in. I think he could definitely take down Hallie if he tried with that damage from the Flame Guard. Even through the Alchemist's crazy regen, Black Death is going to grab himself another kill. This guy's sitting at 5-0-1. That's not where you want to see an Ember Spirit at less than 20 minutes of the game if you're the opposing team. Tower once again denied by the Lina, so I mean, good job denying the towers, but they're still going down. The Dire's kind of suffocating a little bit as this Ember is just growing and growing and growing. He is now sitting on almost 2k gold in the bank, so we'll see if he wants to pick himself up another Battle Fury or maybe another item that's going to help him out. It's up to him, man. I trust this guy on whatever he wants to build. Up top, Legion Commander has about 500 or so gold in the bank, so she's going to see her next big item. I'm guessing after her completed tread, she might want a Basher? Maybe a BKB, I'm not quite sure. Impending Doom with a double damage, walking really deep into this fight. Impending Doom is sitting on the back. He's going in just so deep, and it looks like a duel will be won by Legion Commander. I don't know what Radiant is doing. They might have just really overstayed their welcome at this point. Bearded Bender going to get picked off on the sidelines, and Clown Baby is just running for his life right now. Ember does get picked off, and that's such a valuable kill. How much does he go down for? 575 gold is going to be going straight into the pockets of the Alchemist, which is... Man, this guy's farmed. He already has a completed Mjolnir at 20 minutes in the game. That Max Greevil's Greed is giving him a lot of value. And, yeah, I don't know what this guy's next item is, but he can start building it right now. He already has buyback ready with a 1400 surplus. He's tanking tower hits for some reason, I'm not quite sure, but it's not going to deplete his health too much. And it looks like they're going to be able to take this tower fairly easily if the Radiant don't feel like fortifying it, and I'm not sure they can rotate anyone in. Tree going in to see what he can do. Fortify is actually down on the side of the Radiant, and Tree must feel so helpless right here. His ult's down for another 10 seconds. And yeah, Radiant lost the map advantage they had, I'd say. They do get two bot and top tower down, but they lose their mid, which is really, really key, and they also just took a really, really poor team fight. In terms of XP now, there was a huge spike down after that fight that the Dire just decimated on, and it's now back to about 2k lead for the Radiant, which is next to nothing at 20 minutes in the game. 4 Dire heroes top. It looks like there's going to be a 5th rotating in if he feels like it, and they are going to try to push down this last remaining tier 1 top. And I think they shouldn't have a whole lot of trouble doing it, although there are 3 Radiant heroes, including the Black Death, walking in. Radiant Courier getting scouted out. Shalyn Shadowboxing getting taken down to less than half health, does have to pop a salve and her sprites just to keep herself sustainable in the next upcoming fight. Bearded Bender now picking up that vitality booster, so definitely going to be building into a Bloodstone. Wondering if he's going to keep his mana boots or disassemble those to get the energy booster.
Dire's structures are fortified.
And it looks like Impending Doom, once again, just really, really far into the Dire territory without much vision. He does get stunned up by the Alchemist, and I think that's going to be a really easy kill. I mean, he's playing well with the team, except when he just goes in really, really deep. I would definitely say that's a questionable play. In terms of net worth, Alchemist is actually sitting at number 1. I think that's just due to his crazy amounts of farm, with Ember not too far behind.
Never refuse good given.
Centaur ult being popped, trying to get the Dire to initiate a little bit deeper onto this fight. Tree does pop a really, really great ult, holding everyone in place. But where's the Black Death? He's their big damage on the team. Timbersaw able to pick off someone, but does immediately go down to the Enchantress and the Legion Commander combined. And I think Legion Commander's in some trouble. She's taking tower shots at the moment, but she'll be okay. She has a little bit of damage blocked from that stout shield. Down bottom is going to be Hallie, who's farming up this tower, which is so low. He's just going to be taking it with one little hit. And man, that guy's big. Looks like he's going Assault Cuirass, as he does pick himself up another Hyperstone because he can. Ember Spirit jumping in real deep onto these Dire heroes. Does get stunned up by the Lina. Really great job by Triathlete predicting his movement. Although he does still have Phase Boots. He has a crit, but I don't think it's enough to catch up to that Legion who is so low. He wanted that Legion so desperately. And there are now 4 Radiant heroes on the Dire side, so I don't know if they're going to try to make a push for this, or if they're just going to clean up their jungle and get out. Down bottom, Bearded Bender is going to try to make a go on this Hallie. Hallie casts a stun, but he is now taking his tower hits, and Hallie will easily grab another kill off of that. The tower hit's not even hurting him at this point, whereas regeneration is so crazy with that level 3 ult. Is he going to be able to take down this tower all by himself with just one hit? He's going like a madman now, having a completed Assault Cuirass and a Mjolnir, so he's hitting really, really damn fast. 339, so 0.37 seconds per attack. So he's hitting 3 times a second, which is maddening. Impending Doom is going to be cleaned up once again. Is she going to go down to a duel? It looks like she will, so... Man, I feel like Impending Doom is the reason that the Radiant team haven't totally won these last couple of team fights, because he just keeps being out of position, and I don't know what he's thinking, that he's not going to get rotated on if he's way deep in the jungle with no vision. Definitely a big question mark next to the last couple of deaths that he's had. And it looks like Fortify is going to be popped for this tier 1 top, but Dire shouldn't have any issue taking this down. Creeps are going to get absolutely melted by the Lina stun and Legion Commander arrows. Centaur Stomp is off the mark, getting slowed down a little bit by the Timbersaw. But is the Black Death going to go on this? I think that's really dangerous, but oh, he's just going to go get a double kill. What a crazy guy right there. Triple kill. Oh my goodness, he does have a little bit of mana left, and he's going to bottle up to keep himself high. Is he going to be able to Remnant into this place? I don't know. I don't know if he has the mana sustain for that, or the cooldown for that. I don't know how far he's going to be able to go. Legion's going to blink and get herself to safety. She is now going to be building a BKB with a Mithril Hammer and an Ogre Club. The Black Death is getting out of control this game. 10 kills, 1 death. He's just absolutely sitting at the top of the net worth chart, aside from the Alchemist, who's had crazy farm. He is now going to be going up. Hallie going to be having a completed basher off the courier. Tree doing what he can, but I think he's just going to get absolutely chopped down. Hallie having a little bit of indecision, trying to figure out who he's going to try to kill first. And it looks like Bearded Bender is going to get dueled. Is he going to be able to get enough damage from the Legion Commander to bring him down in time? It looks like he won't. Living Armor doing a great job. Black Death having some trouble, does bring down the Legion Commander, but will die himself from the Triathlete.
Hot enough for you?
So Lina doing a good job getting her value out of that fight. She does grab a triple kill on herself, and maybe she'll be able to get herself a nice big item. She does have a Blink Dagger and 1,700 gold in the bank now. Impending Doom grabbing a Haste Rune. Please don't run too deep into the Dire jungle at this point. There's no vision for you, man. Come on, man. Looks like he's going to go early Ags, as he does have both the Staff of Wizardry and the Ogre Club. Man, I'm tripping on my words right now. Hopefully this water helps. Up top is going to be Hallie, now with an extra 1,700 gold in the bank. This guy is just going to get 6-slotted before 30 minutes, I swear. He's just so big. Winterlord picking up a Vanguard, which I feel like that's a little bit dated on Centaur. Yeah, it's good, but I just don't think he needs it with max return. Sure, it's nice. I just think, man, I don't know what he could have gotten in place of that, but it just seems like it's too much money for an item that's not going to give him something valuable real late into the game. Unless he's going to channel it into Crimson Guard, which I think is definitely viable for his team, given all the damage coming out from Ember Spirit. Shaolin Shadowboxing does have components for a mechanism, so she's pretty close to that. She does need about 800 more gold to grab the recipe for the mechanism. Man, this Alch is just... I'm scared, and this is without the Alch meta that's come out in 6.84. So this guy's way ahead of the game, so watch out if you ever see Hallie in your game, because he's going to know how to play Alchemist like an absolute fiend. Cone Opener does now have most of the components for BKB. She's almost there at the recipe. So next fight, if this goes her way, she'll definitely have the components. Ziggy What gonna get absolutely melted by the Alchemist. Man, that guy's huge. And yeah, I think that was just definitely being out of position on part of the Radiant. They need those wards up. They really have no vision. Both teams have no vision all over the map. Living armor coming up on the tower to save it as long as they can, but that's going to get absolutely melted by the Dire. I'm surprised that tower was still up, to be honest. And it looks like there's going to be a counter push mid as Bearded Bender is going to push in and scare off Triathlete just a little bit. And there are 3 Radiant Heroes here, but are they going to sacrifice their tier 2 top? And it looks like the Black Death is running in. He does get him down a little bit low, but sprites from the Enchantress is going to help a great deal. Sleight of Fist coming out again. Flaming Ebola's coming in. And he's going to get picked off by the Centaur. Man, I was rooting for that guy so hard. Lion doing what he can, but he's trying to go on the Alchemist, which is the absolute worst target for Lion Harass. He needs to pick someone a lot squishier, and he's going to give himself up to another duel. So it looks like this tier 3 might end up going down to the Legion Commander. Man, what is up with the health bar on this tower right there? It's like all the way off to the side and way below it. Legion Commander with a now completed BKB, still sitting at 10 minutes, or 10 seconds if she'd like it. Fortify coming out as the tower is very, very low, but I think that's going to be able to get chopped down in the next couple of hits, and there it goes. Stomp coming out from the Centaur, picking off Clown Baby, and I don't think he's going to be able to do much. He tries to cast his ult, but he will go down before he can get it. The Black Death doing what he can to try to chunk down this Hallie. And man, that guy now has a completed Abyssal at under 30 minutes in. He's 4 slotted basically at this point. Shaolin Shadowboxing does now have a mech if she'd like it. I think she should buy it soon before the Sleight of Fist from the Ember finishes her off. Not quite enough damage there, but wouldn't that have been something? And it does now look like Centaur's going to clean up this illusion from the Necrophos. Glad they didn't blow anything huge for it. I've seen teams blow 2 or 3 ultimates for 1 illusion, and it's painful and hysterical to watch at the same time. Triathlete going for an early BKB, that's going to be our first real big item, and that's going to help out our ult a lot. It is going to have increased range and damage in this patch, so that's going to be really good for her. She can out-lion the Lion ults, if that makes sense. And looks like Hallie is going to be going down to the Lion, so he does end up getting that Alchemist kill that he so desperately wanted. His ult is back up if he needs it. He will miss a stun from the Centaur. He just cast a stun of his own, and the Black Death is going to be going in, trying to do the damage he can. And double kill coming out for the Lion. Really good job. His ult is now down, but he put it to good use taking down that Centaur Warrunner. Mech coming out from the tree, keeping everyone at nice high health. Some mana boots is what they need right now, though, as Impending Doom, Clown Baby, and Ziggy Wet are both sitting at all sitting about half mana. Anyone gonna clean up that ward? Nope. Okay, no sentries coming out, but that spot is now just immediately double warded by both teams. Up top, Unclaimed Bounty Rune, not under ward vision for anyone, so it's just kind of going wherever it feels like. Someone is dragging the courier. Ember, in fact, is bringing the courier to the secret shop, picking up his next item, whatever he would like to get. Timbersaw does have a completed Bloodstone now, only 6 charges on it, so nothing too impressive, but it's going to help out his mana sustain a lot, and his death timer a little bit too. Black Death most likely picking up the last components for his Daedalus, getting those massive crits out, and that's going to hurt. He's going to hit like an absolute truck when he goes in on a Sleight of Fist, and then damage afterwards. Lion Stun coming out does grab Triathlete, but nothing they won't be able to fight off. And if I were the Radiant, I would back off now. There's 5 angry Dire heroes waiting to come down mid. It looks like Alchemist is going to be TPing down bottom with, oh man, Impending Doom once again out of position with no vision, and is going to be stunned up again. I think Hallie's going to have no trouble cleaning this off. Centaur stun coming out to assure the kill, but this guy just needs to buy some damn wards. He's pushing up past the river with no vision and no knowledge of where the Dire team is. I think that's just really cocky playing, and it might be costing his team the advantage that he can get. He's popped some great scythes this game, but if he keeps feeding like that, I just don't think the Radiant are going to be able to make up for the damage that he's giving the other team. He's given them 2 duels already. He's now sitting at 6 deaths, and I think at least 3 of those were very easily preventable just by being more aware of where the Dire team are. Centaur does now have Robe of the Magi, so I'm not exactly sure what he's going for here. I'm not, let me just show in shop. It looks like he might be going for a blade mail, as he does have 2 components for that already, which I don't think is entirely necessary, as he's not the initial target of initiation. Hallie getting stunned up, and Frog to creep accidentally. Ziggy Wet, a little bit of a misclick there. And he does now have his BKB. That's going to be on his 9-second duration, so gonna last a good long time there. Necrophos does pick up a Dagon and an Aghanim Scepter, so items coming out now on him, so maybe he'll have a little bit more of a fighting shot in these engagements, but he needs to stay with his team and in safe areas on the map. And it looks like there's a little bit of suffocation effort going on in part of the Dire. It looks like Winterlord and Hallie are pushing in bottom, while the rest of the team is just coming in top. And the Radiant aren't going to be able to defend both things at once. They are going to lose Elena Rax here, no matter which direction they turn their heads. The Black Death going to be doing what he can, Sleight of Fisting them up. Flaming Bull is coming out, but they're just going to walk away. They're fine. The Sprites are going to do what they can, as well as the Legion's done. Impending Doom, what are you doing? Stay with your team, man. Ziggurat does now have an Aghanim, so his ult's going to hurt a lot more, and there we just saw what it can do. Absolutely detrimental, as he does pick himself up a kill on the Alchemist. Man, this guy really has it out for the Alchemist. He's been at least 3 of his kills so far. Black Death doing what he can. He's going to be chopping on this Enchantress and absolutely getting him down. Reaper's Scythe coming out a little bit unnecessary there. I'd say that was a killsteal attempt from Impending Doom. Ziggurat having 1,300 gold in the bank, only about 430 surplus, but he can definitely start building his next item if it's going to be, you know, smaller chunks rather than his Aghanims, which was definitely big 1,000 gold chunks at a time. Illusion Rune sitting at the bottom, and no one's going to claim that yet, although they both Dire and Radiant have Vision, as well as Roche, which hasn't been picked on at all at 35 minutes in the game. And I'm surprised with a lineup with a Alchemist, a Legion, just really big chunky heroes that could use that extra life. No one's decided to go for Roche yet. So it is going to be a Blade Mail coming out for the Timbersaw, which I'm not too sure. He's been the main target of initiation, but if that's going to help him feel more secure in the fights, all for it. Easy tower for the Radiant mid lane, as Dire weren't really in a position to go defend that. Triathlete now with a completed Ags and Blink Dagger, so she's really mobile and really able to hurt from long distances, is basically the sum of those two items. Cone Opener is going to be finding out this Black Death at the top lane. And is he going to back off in time? It looks like he will. Really good game sense from that guy, as he does probably sniff out these 3 heroes rotating in for him. Down bottom, Illusion Rune going to be going to Bearded Bender on the Timbersaw, as he is going to just try to go use it to clean up this lane as it is pushed in past the river, which is a little farther than they liked it, as they did get suffocated in that last time. At about 35 minutes in the game, in terms of XP, it's almost dead even. It's been really back and forth this whole game. Gotta scratch that. There's initiation up top, as the Black Death is able to pick off the Legion Commander through the Centaur ultimate, so that guy runs fast. Man, with his Flaming Bolas and his Phase Boots, he's able to lock who he wants in place and chase after them real nice. He's thrown on Shaolin Shadow Boxing, as he's able to run real fast and pop some wards down. Able to scout out Ziggurat, sucking the mana off these creeps, and just getting the farm that he needs. I'm wondering what his next item is going to be. Ember now does grab Boots of Travels, which is going to help him out a lot in his mobility, as he has been doing a lot of the split pushing. Roche now goes down to Hallie, who drops his Crawling Blade in favor of the Aegis, and I think that's really valuable. Lion does pick off Enchantress on the backside of this, and I think that's just something I talked about earlier, how Enchantress is just so squishy when she doesn't have the room to farm and get the items and levels that she needs. So support Enchantress just might not be the best pick, honestly. And it looks like Radiant team are going to be rotating in on Hallie pretty heavily. He does pop his BKB to dodge some of the magic damage coming out. Really great 3-man stomp by the Centaur. But looks like Black Death wants to get a piece of this horse right there. He's going to charge in using his remnants. Searing Chains coming up. Centaur ult coming out again. Scythe going to be holding him in place, which I think was less about damage and more about just locking him down so Ember could get a little bit closer and pop out a Sleight of Fist and take him down. So Ember's sitting once again at 11, 3, and 9, so this guy's been putting in a lot of work and making sure the Radiant have a bit of an advantage, although in terms of net worth, in terms of gold, 8,000 in favor of the Dire. And I think that's a lot just because of the towers that have gone down and the racks. In terms of XP, Radiant are ahead by about 3k, which is to be expected because the deaths are slightly in their favor, as well as, you know, Ember's just been getting so huge. He's level 23 already. In terms of hero levels, he's sitting tied with Alchemist, and the next highest is 17 on the Necrophos. I think Enchantress is just having such a hard game, and I think that's just 100% to do with her positioning as a position 5 hero on this team, because she's not been playing poorly. She just doesn't have the farm or the level she needs to survive in these fights. It's not because she's been doing anything wrong. She just isn't able to really maximize her hero's potential. It looks like Ember Spirit's gonna get kind of screwed on this one. He does Remnant himself away, manages to dodge his stun, but he is gonna be hit by this duel. Legion Commander gonna be grabbing some nice juicy damage on that, sitting at 76 duel damage, which is not something you want to be playing up against. Impending Doom, is he stuck in these trees or is he just having some fun? I would say he's stuck with this Blink Dagger right there. And he's gonna be TPing to middle of his own camp. Okay. I'll go with that. Sounds fun. Clown Baby now does have Drums of Endurance, which is going to help out his team in these fights, especially when he's trying to get Ember to chase someone. I would definitely recommend Tree Eggs, as I think it's one of the strongest items in the game. And the Dire don't have any detection to take down his trees, but up to him. Alchemy BKB being popped. It is getting down to a shorter duration. Ziggy What doing what he can to stun up Triathlete. I don't see how this is going to go well for the Radiant at all. Dire just pushed in really, really deeply. Ziggy What doing what he can, popped his ult, and Reaper Scythe is going to end up bringing down the Legion Commander, and looks like some duel damage is going to be brought out on the Lion from that as he does get the kill while it's in a duel. Mana Suck coming in on Shaolin Shadow Boxing, Centaur stun off the mark, but it looks like Impending Doom might live through this after all. No, he will end up going down as the Blade Mail from the Centaur does come in handy after all. Blade Mail's all over the place as Bearded Bender pops his as well. Hallie taking a lot of damage from this Chakram, but I don't know if they're able to finish him off. He is now just a big giant frog, and he will go down to the Timbersaw. Really well played by the Timbersaw, putting his saws exactly where they need to be. So overall, Radiant come out ahead on that one. They do lose their Ember Spirit, which is quite unfortunate, but they take down 3 cores on the side of the Dire, which is... I didn't think they were going to be able to do that, honestly. I thought they were getting pushed in so deeply they wouldn't have any fight left in them.
Double damage.
DD grabbed on Lina down bottom. She has about 3k gold in the bank, so she should be making a big purchase sometime soon. That is 1,800 surplus on top of her buyback, so she is all set for that. She can start thinking about an item as well. Bearded Bender looks like he's going Ags on this one, as he does have a Ogre Club and Point Booster, trying to get those double saws out to do as much damage as he can, and that's a really smart choice considering how he's been using them in the past fights. Has definitely helped turn. He brought down that Alchemist almost single-handedly using his abilities. That middle Ziggy What trying to get as much farm as he can. He does have 161 surplus on top of his buyback, so maybe not enough to think about buying a big item, but if he wants to buy out, I mean, that's fine. He could just continue buying upwards. Sentry and Observer being popped, making sure no one's watching him farm that middle lane. Unclaimed Bounty Rune up top. It's going to be replaced in about 40 seconds, but I don't think anyone's going to go get to that before it is time. In terms of net worth, Alchemist is just so far ahead. That guy is just a big muscle man right now. He's 6-slotted. There's nothing else they can do. He's probably going to build that crit stick into a Daedalus, but after that, what else does he build? He's so big. Is he almost going to fall off because he's too big? There's nothing he can do to keep up with the amount of gold he's getting. Regardless, he's going to be surrounded by 4 Radiant heroes at this point. Bearded Bender running for his life. He does get turned into a nice little frog. Timbersaw zipping in. Stun coming out off the mark at this point. BKB being popped. Ziggy What going to be the first victim of this guy. He is going to get gold for that kill. Bearded Bender trying to run away as best he can. Black Death doing what he can to stop him. And it looks like Blade Mail might be becoming useful to this guy. The Black Death is going to end up going down to the Centaur Warrunner Double Edge. Reaper Scythe doing great work, finally bringing down the Alchemist, but Timbersaw will be brought down by the Centaur Warrunner, and Legion Commander is going to get a dual damage off on that Necrophos, so she's sitting really comfortably at 94 dual damage, which is... that's yucky, to say the least. She does have to have a Desolator to bring down the armor of her enemies. I would have recommended a Daedalus, I guess? I don't know how much Desolator really adds to it. I don't play Legion as much as I used to. Wow, right, great Lion ult, trying to get the Legion down as much as he can. She is now sitting at 200 HP, so she's not too much scared of her life. She does pop her own heal on herself. She has lots of ways to heal up, including the lifesteal in the jungle, which is so strong. Bearded Bender really showing his balls right now as he's gonna zip in on 3 enemy heroes, not really knowing where anyone else is. He will get out just fine, however. In terms of XP, it's been really back and forth. The Radiant are now in control at about 2,500. I think just because of that last fight where they were able to pick off the Dire in the Radiant base. But not a whole lot that's going on in this game right now. It is kind of like a reset situation. Everyone's realizing that both teams are still in this. The kills are 30-30. No one's absolutely snowballing out of control. So both teams trying to regroup, reset, and figure out the best way to end this swiftly and cleanly. Looks like Can Opener is going to be found by Ziggy What. He better do something quick before he gets dueled again. Duel is up, but it looks like Centaur Stun is going to help this out. I don't think Legion's going to be going in on a stun for this, but... Oh, she could try. She's going in for a duel. And it looks like she might pick off Clown Baby. Wow. That's... Legion Commander got some duel damage for that. It's immediately finished off by the Ember Spirit, but... Once again, just don't feed Legion duel damage. It's so bad. She's going to get so big. Regen Rune sitting unclaimed up top. It is scouted out by the Radiant Observer Wards. Impending Doom is once again all on his own up top without any vision, so I'm anticipating that guy getting picked off. He does not have a Dagon 3, so it looks like he's going to be trying to max that to get as much damage as he can. Oh! He took my advice and blinked back to safety. Good on you, mister. And it looks like completed Ags out for Timbersaw. I'm not sure what his next item's going to be, but he can start thinking about it. I don't know what I'd build on this guy, honestly. He's been doing a lot of good work. Maybe an Assault Cuirass? I'm not sure if that would work into his build a lot, but I think the attack speed would really help him out. Winterlord does end up upgrading that Vanguard into a Crimson Guard, and I think that's a really good pick for his team, helping defend against all the damage that the Radiant are able to do in a very short amount of time, especially those Timber Saws. I guess that's what they're called, the Saws of the Timber Saw. And it looks like they're going to be trying to group up for the Roche attempt. Too bad, they're about a minute shy. Poor little guys. They'll be back soon. Enchantress is so poor this game. It looks like she might be going for an Ags, maybe? Scratch that. Looks like Centaur's going to be trying to stun up this Black Death, who hopefully can zip out of here, but he's just going to get burst down so fast. Alchemist taking the right click for that. What a madman at this point. He's hitting for a lot. He's hitting for like 370-ish. And he needs to be locked down. I would say the Radiant need a Sheep Stick. His BKB is almost done. It's at 6 seconds, so he has one more reliable charge on that before it's completely emptied out. Ziggy What now trying to think about his next item, although he does lose a lot of gold after his last death. The Blink Dagger, I don't know if it was a better choice than the Force Staff. I would almost say Force Staff is going to be more utility for his team and helping them out, but the Blink Dagger will set up his Ags ult a little bit better. Impending Doom does now have enough gold for the Dagon level 4 if he chooses to grab it, but he might be saving for buyback. And looks like fight's going to break out bottom lane as final BKB, or long BKB charge being popped by the Alchemist. He does manage to take down a whole Rax with it. He will stun himself up, tree popping a really great ult, setting up for an amazing Lion ult. Ags Timbersaw is now zipping in, popping the saws everywhere, and they're able to pretty much wipe the Dire team, so Dire are pushing up, but Radiant are pushing right back. They're getting the kills they need to stay in this game. The XP is going to be very angry after that last fight. It's going to be zigzagging back and forth. And yeah, I mean, they're leaving Timbersaw to clean up the lanes, which is what they need to do, and the rest of them are pushing up. So really good job on them. I'd almost say Ziggy What needs to get out of this jungle and help his team push. He's a reliable stun and a reliable nuke with his Ags ult, which is up every couple of seconds. So yeah, in terms of net worth, the Radiant is still almost 5,000 advantage ahead, even though the Dire are pushing into their base every couple of seconds. And it looks like the Radiant are going to be able to crack base at this point. And are they going to be able to just absolutely maul them over? Alchemist is dead for another 60 seconds almost. In terms of gold, the Dire are actually really heavily in favor, but that's almost certainly due to the loss of towers in the Alchemist. So again, it's something Radiant can easily come back from if they take a lane or two of Rax. Triathlete is going to be stunned up and frogged up, and it looks like Black Death is going to be able to absolutely nuke him down. Lion getting the credit for that kill as he does pop his ult. He is now pretty low on mana, but nothing a little mana suck won't fix. And another Sleight of Fist from the Ember coming out just to keep the Enchantress back. She's just had such a tough game. She has 20-minute items at 50 minutes in the game.
Dire's middle barracks have
So they do grab a full lane of racks, which is going to help them out a lot, as the Radiant still have partial lanes of racks. They just lose little bits from their top and bottom, and their mid is still completely intact. So I think Radiant are very much still in this, if not in the lead at this point. Yeah, their base is a little bit more in shambles, and they're getting picked off a little bit more, but the Dire team don't have that complete wombo combo high ground push. They have been getting wiped by the Radiant in these last couple of fights. Down bottom, Timbersaw melting these lanes with his Aghanims. That's a really good pickup on him, especially because he knows how to use it. I've seen some Timbersaws get their Ags and just get so damn confused by the double saws that they just sit there and never use any of them. Radiant now very much in command in terms of XP difference, with 10,000 in their favor. Roche is now going to be trying to be brought down by the Legion Commander. Doing a fairly good job at that, and Centaur's there to back her up if she needs it. And it looks like Radiant aren't too keen on trying to stop that, although, yeah, it looks like the Timbersaw is just going to be farming up. They don't have much of an idea what's going on. There are no wards in the area, so I don't know if they'd be able to predict that. Wow, Legion Commander getting taken down really low from this Roche. She really doesn't have that much HP. And that Alchemist is able to do all the heavy hitting in terms of bringing down that Roche. He doesn't want to drop any of his items to grab that Aegis. Centaur is going to sneak in and grab it on the backlines, as he does have a slot for it. Clown Baby is going to be the first scouted out if the Dire decide to move in. They do smoke up, and they do pop an ult, and it looks like Clown Baby is going to reveal the Alchemist does invis himself back up in the trees, and it looks like there's no detection for him, so he's just going to be a nasty little bugger and try to pop as many smokes as he can. He does feed intel to the Radiant on where everyone is. It looks like Howley might miss the stun on Impending Doom and will stun himself up. Timbersaw sending in some chakrams, and it looks like they might be able to get him from that. And wow, Reaper Scythe does finish off the Alchemist. Really good job with that. But Legion Commander picks herself up another duel. She's sitting at 130 bonus damage. Really great ult from the tree. Brings down the Centaur Warrunner. His Aegis is going to pop once again. And they should be able to pick him up once again. And it looks like Timbersaw does end Legion Commander's spree and finishes her off. No bonus damage for that, unfortunately. Lena's going to end Timbersaw's dominating streak with her ultimate. Ag's ultimate at that. But, Drums being popped by the tree. For no real reason, he just wanted to take another victory loop outside of his base. Double Battle Furies and a Daedalus now completed on the Ember Spirit. He's a big boy at this point, sitting at 13 kills, 6 deaths, and 18 assists. But if his team isn't there to continue team fighting really cleanly, I don't know if he can come back from it. He's doing a lot of work, but it seems like the team fights are very clustered and no one's really sure who to go on. No one's really sure exactly who the target is going to be. Timbersaw doing his absolute best to clean up these waves. He's melting them down real good. He does not have a completed Shiva's Guard, which I think will help very, very much in the next fight if he can go in and pop that off on 2, 3, 4 enemy heroes. And Unclaimed Bounty Rune at bottom. Roche still has a long way to go before being spawned, as the Aegis was just popped on Centaur. Black Death does now have a good amount of surplus on top of his buyback, which is pretty expensive, but he can start thinking about what he needs to get. Necrophos picking up a Heart of Tarask, which, man, I'm skeptical about that. But then again, I'm not quite sure what I'd suggest in its place, so I guess it's not horrible. It's always good to have a little bit more HP. Tree does now have a completed Ags. I just noticed his little tree on the map over there, and that's going to be very, very helpful for determining where everyone is. Legion is getting really, really big, though. She is going to be picking up her Daedalus fairly shortly, as she does now have a completed Desolator, so low armor, high crits is a big recipe for dead Radiant heroes. Lena having a completed Scythe of Ice, and that's something I think the Radiant really need to have in this fight, but it's never going to hurt to have a Sheepstick. And Enchantress getting just a touch closer to that Ags, man. She's just had such a struggle. She's sitting way at the bottom of the net worth chart at only 7,000 net worth, to the Alchemist almost 32,000. So that just shows you what a tough start she's had, and what a tough game all throughout it's been for her. She really hasn't been able to do much in terms of fighting with their team aside from casting sprites and letting the little guys do the healing. Elysian Rune is scouted out by the tree, Aghanim's ulti, Eyes in the Forest, whatever it's called, up top, and Dire have no vision of that, so Radiant could just go pick that one up if they needed to. And it looks like there's going to be a smoke on the courier, and they are going to be popping that fairly shortly. They're just waiting for the rest of their team to get in a little bit closer, and I'm not sure where they're going to be rotating for this because Roche is still far from up. Looks like they are going to be wrapping through on the Radiant jungle. And are they going to go try to pick off this Timbersaw? They probably scout him out because the Dire creeps are right there. He does have a good means of escape, though. He has his Bloodstone if he needs to just suicide out. And he just now have his chain things. Oh, he's going to be absolutely wrecked by this duel. Looks like he's going to be going down. Not even time to cast his Blade Mail. Yeah, he will be going down. Centaur Warrunner getting the last hit on that, but Legion grabbing some nice bonus damage. Wow, 148 is not what you want to be fighting against if you're a squishy Radiant hero. And I think that might be one of the reasons why the Necrophos decided to pick up a heart for himself, just deciding, you know, I want to be able to survive a couple hits before I'm just completely wiped. Really great job from the Ember Spirit, just trying to do as much damage as he can with that max level Sleight of Fist. Getting a good number of jumps right there. Damn. Centaur ult being popped. Unsure exactly why. It looks like everyone just kind of ran in a nice big circle. Unsure if they were retreating or initiating with that.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Necrophos doing what he can to try to take care of these creeps. Black Death doing what he can to try to take care of these heroes, man. They're just coming in way, way deep. He's Sleight of Fisting at every opportunity. Aghanim's ult coming out from the Lion. Reaper Scythe doing what he can, but not going to go through the Legion's BKB. Witcher Lord will get picked off by the Necrophos. And it looks like Triathlete's going to be going down. Black Death is going to get the credit for that. So he now has 5,000 gold in the bank. He really should think about getting another item. He doesn't have to buy it completely, but he does have 2,500 gold before he's in danger of losing his buyback. Middle tower is going to get popped by the Dire creeps, or sorry, Radiant creeps, as they are going to get pushed in fairly advanced here. Enchantress running for her life, and there's really not much she can do. And it looks like a TP from the Alchemist will get cancelled as Bearded Bender is able to clean up that creep wave. So Radiant are still very much in this game. Yeah, most of the fights have been taking place in their base, and they've been losing a lot of structures. They do now have one lane of exposed racks and one lane of partial racks and one lane of just taken out racks, but creeps have been putting in work on this mid lane. Get one of the tier 2 towers down, and one of them about halfway full, and there's no Treant Protector on the Dire team to heal him back up. So, I mean, I just don't know. Honestly, this game could go either way right now. One really successful fight from the Radiant, and they get enough Dire heroes down to push into their base. Oh, it's over easy peasy. But then again, the Dire could continue their reign of just absolutely shoving down the lanes and picking off a couple Radiant heroes and getting a few structures out of it. And if they do that little by little, they're going to keep chipping out the Radiant base and making sure nothing can happen of it. And it looks like another smoke is coming out from the Dire heroes as they're going to roam in. Alchemist is completely slick-slotted at this point. There's nothing else he could really substitute unless he wants to replace his BKB. And smoke is going to be popped by Ziggy What.
Where are you going?
And it looks like Bearded Bender's just going to be caught in the wrong place at the wrong time. Although Impending Doom is going to come in, do as much as he can. Double BKB from the Alchemist and the Legion. Another Reaper Scythe being popped onto an Ag's hero, so I'm not quite sure what he was thinking with that one, but a double kill coming out for the Timbersaw as he's able to pop his Aghanim's saws and just do a lot of damage, and I think this is what the Radiant need. I think they're in a position to go in and win right now, honestly. Alk down for 106 seconds. Does he have buyback? Let's take a check at that. It looks like the Alk does not have buyback. He still has 5 minutes remaining on that last buyback, so there's nothing they can do to get back in this fight. He's their main damage. I think they can go in and win. Legion's dead for 54 seconds with no buyback. She needs a lot more gold for it. I think it's GG. I think Radiant came back from this. In terms of XP, it's heavily in the Radiant's favor. And in terms of gold, Radiant as well. And yeah, Ancient's under attack. GG being called. I'm not quite sure it's that over yet, but yeah, it looks like one final stomp from the Centaur is going to try to do what he can. He will get frogged up, stunned up, and Shiva's up. That's the first time I've actually seen the Shivas in the fight. Really, really well played by the Radiant. I thought they were out of it, honestly, for a good amount of this fight, as the Dire were able to just keep getting those pickoffs, especially the Necrophos, and walk into the base. That completely six-slotted Elk by like 40 minutes, able to chop them down easy peasy, and those Legion duels just with so much extra damage, but Radiant played cleanly. They picked off who they needed to, and yeah, really, really well played. Special shout out to the Timbersaw, who I think had really, really great chakrams, and the Ember Spirit, who really carried the mid game, was able to get pretty damn beefy. What was he, like 11, 1, and 8 at some point in the game? Like, that's just really, really well played from everyone involved. And on the Dire team, that Legion commander just absolutely maximized on all of the duels she was able to get, catching everyone out of place. And yeah, just really good game, really fun to cast. I didn't know which way that one was going to go for most of the game, so thanks for watching. Once again, I'm Annie, aka Android, and if you enjoyed my cast, feel free to drop me a subscribe or a follow or just say hey.